today we're actually going to look over a sample exposition. All right. And the purpose of doing this is so you guys can have a better understanding of how a good expository piece should look, so that you're able to model, and you're able to write a good expository piece based on the samples that you're looking at, okay? And when you actually look at examples or sample writing pieces, you're able to have a better understanding of, oh, okay, so, okay, it should look like this. I should do this. I shouldn't do that. Okay, so let's get started. So let's look at our objectives. So our objectives are by activating prior knowledge, students would be able to recall 3 basic parts of an essay. Students will be able to explain the purpose of an expository essay, and students will be able to construct a clear and concise thesis statement based on one of the prompts provided during the lesson. Now, before we dive straight into the lesson, can anyone tell me what is the purpose or what is the goal of an expository piece? We did this yesterday. You guys did this yesterday, as well as we did this day before yesterday. What is the purpose of an expository piece? Or what's the goal of writing an expository piece? Based on what you learned so far. Anyone? Someone said to explain, to give information and explain. Okay. Anything else? But to explain what? What are they explaining? Or what are they giving information on? Yes, facts only. Yes, you are correct. So all of you are correct, okay? So they're actually giving information or explaining. So we're giving information or explaining you're explaining a specific topic, right? So like we said, your reader may not know about this particular topic, or your reader may not know something about someone or something or an idea, and you're able to explain them or give them factual information so that they now can be aware or knowledgeable about this particular topic based on the information that you gave them. Okay, now what are the 3 parts of an essay? What are the 3 parts of an essay? What are the 3 parts of an essay? No one? I mean, I think that's the easiest thing, Mr. Joaquin.
Yeah, that's easy, man.
I mean, this is pretty basic.
They're probably laughing because it's too easy. They didn't have time. All right, Elvistina says introduction, body, and conclusion.
All right. Good job, Elvistina. All right, so you're correct. So 3 parts of an essay. So we have an introduction. And remember, with the introduction, you should have all of your body paragraphs. You should have your topic sentence. But in your introduction, you will definitely have your thesis statement. Can someone tell me what a thesis statement is? What does this thesis statement do? Or what's the purpose of it? Why do we need a thesis statement in your introduction, introductory sentence, paragraph, sorry? Come on. What is a thesis statement? Or why do you need it? Okay, I see someone says to tell what the story is about. Now remember, we're not talking about a narrative. A narrative tells a story, right? Anyone else? Come, guys, there's 49 of you in here. There should be more participants.
Okay, Ebony says to give the reader a short sentence that they will be reading. Eversina says to get the point across.
Okay, I mean, you're almost there. You're kind of warm. Anyone else? What about Brian, Kareem, Aaliyah, Alexander? I'm about to start calling more names.
Yeah, it looks like you're gonna have to.
DeAndre, Deshaun, Jasmine, Jefferson, Kiron,
Guys, come on.
Corral.
Why you guys guys, I don't know if you guys know this, but they're going to be end of term exams for you.
Yes.
And now it's not the time to be shy when it comes to asking or answering questions, man. So we need you to get involved. It's like participation seems to be declining. All right.
And that's the same thing I'm thinking. Like, far as I'm concerned, seems as though you guys are on, but you're not really paying attention to the class.
And that's another concern.
We're talking about expository essays. Introduction. If we have our introduction, every paragraph should have a topic sentence. We spoke on that before when we did paragraphing, right? So we're making connections. What did we say a thesis statement does? Or what is a thesis statement? If you read a thesis statement, what should the thesis statement tell you about your essay? Should know. Watch your slang, please.
Laurent says what the essay is about.
Okay.
Debriana says it offers a concise summary of the main point or claim of the essay.
All right.
All right, good job. I'm Laurent, but yes, Laurent, that is correct. Debriana.
Yes, Laurent, you're correct. Explain the main points. Yes. So yes, you are correct. A thesis statement tells the reader what this essay will be about, what this essay will cover. So just based on your thesis statement, you know what you are going to read in your supporting paragraphs. Okay? So these are things that we need you to understand, because if you are to write, or if you have to write a essay, an expository piece for your final exam, and you do not have a good, or you don't even have a thesis statement, then you lose major marks. Because then if we don't see a thesis statement, we really don't know what this essay is about.
Right. And Mrs. Dennis, may I add?
No problem.
Grade 11, another important thing to consider is that once you work out a thesis statement, you don't have to worry about what you're going to talk about, because the thesis is there. And I'm sure Mrs. Dennis is going to go deeper into the thesis.
Yes.
Because for you guys to get that right and right, that's going to take some time. But once you have your thesis, and it's simple, it's not hard. Once you have your thesis, you have your essay, basically.
Yes. Because your thesis, just that thesis statement alone, like Mr. Watkins say, you don't have to worry about, what my first, second, and third supporting paragraphs is going to be about.
Exactly.
You know what they're going to be about. Okay, and this is what we need you guys to understand. after we go through the sample essay, then, like Mr. Walking said, we're gonna actually spend some time on thesis statement, Mr. Walking. I think we should
Yeah.
definitely do that tomorrow.
Yes, we have to.
Yeah,
Because
we have to spend time on thesis statements.
if they don't get that, they won't understand what separates expository and persuasive essays, essays that have to have a thesis statement from narrative or descriptive essays. And if you
Yes.
guys are going to university in a couple of years, if you plan to, some of you may go off, some of you may go to UB, you will be right. Mrs. Dennis could tell you, you could be whatever major you're doing, you have to do at least 3 levels of English,
That's
at least.
right.
And you will have to write papers, and those papers will have to have thesis statements in them.
Yep.
So you have, if you plan on going to college, you have to learn how to do this right.
That's right. And this is where we're making the connection with you, because I feel so years ago, there was somewhat of a gap between high school and college.
Yeah.
But now now we're trying to mend, or we're trying to build a bridge so we can have a connection. So when you go into 1119 to UB, then you move to 120, then you move to 300, which is the highest level of English. When you reach to 1119, the first thing they're going to ask you, and that's one of the main things, what is a thesis statement? What should you have in your expository essay? And in university and colleges, they focus more on expository essay than anything.
Yeah.
These narratives, would you guys like to write? In college, they do not focus on those things.
No.
Expository expositions are everything in universities.
And persuasive.
Yes, and persuasive, I agree. Yes, Mr. Walking, that is true. Okay, so we need you guys to please pay attention. I don't need you to say, I don't know what y'all talking about. I just reached in class. If that's the case, you need to be to class on time. All right? Okay. Now, and also we have our second part of an essay, which is our body, which is your supporting paragraphs. Exact same thing like what Mr. Joaquin said. Based on your thesis statement, I should know what your second paragraph is going to be about, which is your first body paragraph. So once I've already finished reading your thesis statement, I finished reading your introduction with your thesis statement, bam, I know what paragraph I'm going into. I know what I'm about to read about. Then after on to the third, what this is going to be about. Then you move on to the fourth. I know this is what this is going to be about. And then you have your conclusion, which is you restate your thesis statement. Now, what do I mean by restate? We went over this in paragraph writing. What do we mean by restate your thesis statement?
All right. Someone says summarize it.
Okay.
Summarize every important detail you said. Marquin says say it again, but in a different way.
Okay.
Eric
yes,
says,
Marquin, you're correct.
Eric says rephrase it.
Okay, so basically what you're doing, okay, so I see some answers coming up. Say it in a different way. Someone else said again. So yes, so you guys are correct. When you restate your thesis statement, you're retelling it, but you are rewording your thesis statement. So I'm not asking you to give me the same exact wording of your thesis statement in your introduction and put it in your conclusion. No, you're actually rewording it. Okay. You're basically in your conclusion, you are summarizing, like some of you guys say, and you're rewording or retelling your thesis statement.
Yes.
So when I read your conclusion, and Mr. Walking can agree with me or not, but when I read your conclusion, that will jog my memory on what your thesis statement was.
Right. Mrs. Dennis is correct, right? Like when you wrap up your conclusion, when you write your conclusion, the points that were originally in your thesis and the points that you developed in your body, you must reference them in the conclusion. Just like she said, and like some of you said, you have to rephrase it. All right, you have to change the words around, but the point, see, because you need to remind the reader, like Mrs. Dennis said, excellent point, that these are the points that I discussed. I want you to, and that's what the conclusion and an expository essay is for. Like, these are my points. All right, because remember, you're not trying to sway anybody with an expository essay. These are the points that I want you, this is the information I want you to remember.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Mr. Walking, you're totally correct. So yes, Mr. Walking, he hit the nail on the head. So basically all you're doing is you're reaffirming or you're telling your reader that, hey, this is what we just covered. So I shouldn't have to go back to your introduction or back to your body paragraph and say, hold on now. Let's just say for a minute, I totally forgot what you said in your introduction. I totally forgot what you said in your body or your supporting paragraphs. When I come to your conclusion, you should be reminding me what this essay was about.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the purpose of a good conclusion. And this is why you have to restate your thesis statement. Okay? Okay, so we talk about the purpose of an expository essay, so we're going to go over it again, and you guys were correct. So expository writing gives information about, explains, or expresses exposes its audience to a topic. So that's what I was asking you guys. I know a lot of you were saying give information or explain, and I was asking you explain what? Okay, so your writer is actually giving you information about a topic or explaining a topic or exposing you to a topic that you didn't know about. Okay, so the goal of this type of writing is to help people to know and understand more about a particular topic. Like I said, sometimes you may know about a particular topic, but you are not sure, you don't have all the details about this particular topic. And this is where your writer gives you insight on that particular topic. Okay? All right. So now we're actually going to go into an expository essay. I actually broke it into the introduction, the 3 body paragraphs, and the conclusion. So each slide is focusing on something in particular. So the first slide, we're going to go straight into the introduction, okay? This is where you can see how you should break up your essay, all right? Because if I had it all in one, you guys would have been like, oh, I can't see it, or I don't understand. So that's how we're going to do it. So we're actually going to dissect. Now, that word is actually used in what subject area? What subject area? And what do you think dissect means? Science, you are correct. And what does dissect mean?
All right, Kania says to take apart.
Okay. Anyone else?
All right, Elvisina says to divide. John Bonet says to separate. Kiran says to cut open.
Okay, so yeah, so you guys are correct. So basically, it's to pull apart, okay? We're pulling it apart, we're taking it apart, we're separating certain things, and this, by doing this, you have a better understanding of how a good or how a well-written expository piece should look, okay? So let's get started. So read along with me. So, Mr. Walking, you think we should read the full thing first or go paragraph by paragraph and then do?
Let's go. This is the introduction here, right?
Yeah.
Let's start with this because this seems to be straightforward. So let's start with the introductory paragraph, and I'd say let's break it up for them.
Yes, yes,
Because
yes.
I mean, we
Instead of
could
being
read the
open.
entire thing, but let's make it easy, a little easy for them, but not too easy. Because if
Okay.
we read the entire thing and then we went back, it might be a little easier for them to pick things out. But in isolation, maybe it might be a bit tougher, but just easy enough.
That's true. That's true. Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay, so students, read along with me. For years, people have found many ways to protect themselves. Today, they wear camouflage uniforms and shoot pepper spray. Where did people get the ideas for these forms of protection? They may have come from the unusual ways animals defend themselves. Animals protect themselves in three amazing ways. I'm going to read that one more time. For years, people found many ways to protect themselves. Today, they wear camouflage uniforms and shoot pepper spray. Where did people get the ideas for these forms of protection? They may have come from the unusual ways animals defend themselves. Animals protect themselves in three amazing ways. Now, let's see. Can someone tell me, or can you guys identify the topic sentence? Can you identify the topic sentence? What do you think the topic sentence is, students? Oh, wow. You guys really don't know?
No, I think they're reading it carefully. Maybe they're just, all right. Christelle says people have found many ways to protect themselves. That's my student there, Christelle. All right. Yeah, Christelle. Okay. Okay.
Yes. Uh-huh.
All right. Alexander says ways people protect themselves. Um, Alexander, you're not. We wanted the specific sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. People have found many ways to protect themselves. Debriana says.
Okay, so Christelle was correct. Am I correct, Ms. Joaquin?
Yes, Christelle and Debriana are both correct.
Yes, you guys are correct. So this is your topic sentence. And remember, we said that your topic sentence introduces your audience or your reader to what you are about to talk about. So when someone read for years, people have found many ways to protect themselves. Okay, now, all kind of different things are coming up in your head. Okay, how do people protect themselves? They use this, they probably do that, they probably do this. Okay, so you have somewhat of an idea what this passage is going to be about or what this essay is going to be about, right? And here it is. Remember, we were saying there are many different ways you can actually, or many different ways you can use sentences in your introduction. So here it is. We actually have a question, right? Where did people get the ideas for these forms of protection? It's a rhetorical question. Okay? And then can someone identify, or can you guys identify the thesis statement? Can you identify the thesis statement? Okay, see someone said, or just disappeared.
All right. Stephanie says animals protect themselves in three amazing ways.
All right, anyone else? Anyone else? Is she correct or he correct? I'm not sure if it was a girl or boy.
That's Stephanie. That's a girl.
Is Stephanie correct?
All right. Kania says today they wear camouflage uniforms and shoot pepper spray. All right, Debriana says the same thing.
Mr. Walken, what you think? Who you think is correct?
That's a good question. Now, I would say, because now I'm going to give my honest view. All right.
Yeah.
I definitely think that the closest thing to a thesis or something that sets up the focus of the essay to come is the last sentence. Even though the last sentence does not explicitly state the three ways, I believe that the last sentence is what telling you what the essay will be discussing.
All right, Mr. Walken, you are correct, right? So because normally, sometimes you don't have, like Mr. Walken said, sometimes you don't have to put your thesis statement. Your thesis statement don't necessarily have to be the last sentence in your introduction,
No,
right?
it doesn't. No.
It doesn't. But you normally find your thesis statement to be the last sentence in your introduction. Am I correct?
I mean, that's the rule of thumb. You usually encourage to put it at the end or near the end. But what I say I don't think you should start with your thesis statement. No, I don't think you should get to that. And the reason I say that is because Mrs. Dennis, when I teach students the thesis statement, you know what they tend to do? They tend to conflate a thesis statement with an introduction. But your thesis is only a small part of your introduction. Like, you cannot start your essay out by saying, animals protect themselves in amazing ways, right? That is your thesis. You still need an introduction to build towards the thesis. You notice how this introduction leads to that thesis. Like, there's a logical progression from human beings and the way they protect themselves to where they possibly learned or in nature how to do these things, right? So you can't. So that's my only warning with starting. That's why I would say I tell them end with it or have it somewhere near the end.
Yes.
But you don't have to have it at the end. You could possibly have it in the middle. I've seen essays with thesis statements in the middle, but because a lot of students seem to think, all right, thesis statement equals introduction, and that means I just write this one sentence and I can move on to the body of my essay. No, that is incorrect. You have to have you have to use some introductory technique or techniques, develop your intro, and then slip your thesis in somewhere around the end, ideally.
Yes, I agree, Mr. Walken. And this is why, Mr. Walken, this is why we asked them, what are some ways you can start your introduction? Or what are some ways, how can you make a good introduction? This is why we talked about anecdote the other day. We spoke about you can put questions. We spoke you can put quotes. All of these different things you can use to make a good introductory paragraph. Okay? So yes, I totally agree, Mr. Joaquin. Sometimes it doesn't, like he said, it doesn't have to be at the end of your introductory paragraph, but I tell my students to put their thesis statement at the end of the introductory sentence, paragraph.
Yes.
The reason being is because once your reader finish reading that last sentence, your reader know what they're about to get into.
Exactly, and you want the last thing you want to make them aware of where you're going. Like let that be fresh in their minds, right? Because sometimes I've read expository pieces where the intro was so good, you know what I mean? And you need that intro may take away a bit from the thesis, but you need to say, hey, your thesis still has to be at the end, and it still has to be prominent. Like, hey, this intro was good, but this is my thesis. I don't want you to lose focus.
That's right. Even so, Mr. Joaquin, sometimes you read students or person's introductory paragraph, and you're like, hold on, Let me read this again because I'm trying to figure out what the thesis statement is.
Oh yes. Oh man.
You know, you
It's like
my thing is, if your reader have to read your introductory paragraph more than once to figure out what your thesis statement is, you don't have a clear thesis statement.
it's like looking for it's like you know, do you know the old saying, like looking for a needle in a haystack?
Haystack, that's right.
It's like looking for one piece of a particular piece of hay in a haystack. It's hard. It's hard.
Yes,
Sometimes I'm like,
very hard.
you know, they come, I'm like, hey man, look here, let me see, look here for a minute, please. Hey, how you doing? Good morning. You all right? Help me out. This is your intro, right? Yes, sir. Okay, great. Um, where's your thesis?
Yes.
Um,
And it
and they look at
sometimes
me.
they tell you right here, and be like, you sure that's your thesis statement?
You sure? Let me get my glasses. Let me see. Maybe my eyes failing me. Okay, no, it's not my eyes. So, yeah, Miss Dennis is absolutely correct there.
Okay, so yes, you guys are correct. Animals protect themselves in 3 amazing ways. Now, based on your thesis statement, what do you think the supporting paragraphs are going to be about? What do you think the supporting paragraphs are going to be about? Let me see if you understand what the CC statement is, or what the CC statement is really saying.
All right, they are things you talk about in the intro, Jeremy says.
So yes, I'm getting some good answers. 3 ways animals protect themselves. Yes, you're correct. So here it is now. When I go into the next paragraph, automatically I should already know, okay, so they're actually going to be talking about different ways animals protect themselves. So we're talking about 3 amazing ways. Each should have way animals protect themselves. Okay, so here it is now. Your 3 ways animals protect themselves should be split up into 3 paragraphs, right? Okay, so let's move forward. Yes, right. I think that's Alvestina. All right, so I need you guys to read along with me. One common way animals protect themselves is by changing color to blend in with their environment. A good example of this is the snowshoe. This rabbit turns from brown in summer to white in winter. Its change in color makes it hard for predators to see the rabbit in dry summer grass and winter snow. Cuttlefish also change color to blend with their surroundings. Without the ability to change color, some species of animals would probably be extinct by now. Humans have borrowed this idea to make camouflage clothing. Now, can any students or can anyone identify my topic sentence? What is my topic sentence? What is the topic sentence here? Or what is this entire paragraph talking about? Can you identify the topic sentence first? Anyone?
All right, Debriana, Aaliyah says common ways animals protect themselves. Christelle says common ways animals protect themselves. One common way animals protect themselves. Alexander says, Debriana says one common way animals protect themselves is by changing color to blend with their environment. John Monet says the same thing. So what do you think, Mrs. Dennis?
Yes, you're correct, right? And based on your topic sentence, you know what this paragraph is going to be about. There's a particular word they use inside this paragraph where it says animals change their color to blend in with environment. What do we call that? What do we call that? What was the snowshoe rabbit and the cuttlefish able to do? I think that's Elvestine, eh? Good job. Yes, you're correct. Camouflage. Okay, they were able to camouflage themselves in order for them to blend in with their environment. So you know, if animals change color to blend in with their environment, you know it's camouflage. Okay, so you are correct. Good job. That's your topic sentence, right? Now, what are some of the supporting details in this paragraph to support that topic sentence? Anyone, give me any one of the supporting details to indicate that animals protect themselves by changing color to blend in with their environment. Give me one supporting detail inside this paragraph to indicate that it actually supports that topic sentence. Because remember, Mr. Joaquin had the pitch up with the gentleman, the supporting or topic sentence or main idea, and you have your supporting details holding it up, right? That's your support. So give me one way that we're actually supporting our topic sentence. Mr. Joaquin, you say anything yet?
All right, Christelle says rabbit turns brown in the summer and white in the winter. Cuttlefish change color to blend their surroundings, in with their surroundings, Alcina says. And John Monet said what Christelle said, well, also.
Okay, so yeah, so all of you are correct. Those are our supporting details. Okay, they support our topic sentence, which indicate that animals change color to blend in. So the first supporting one was snowshoe rabbit. During the summer, they turn brown to blend in with their environment, and during the winter, they turn white to blend in, right? Also, the cuttlefish. The cuttlefish change color to blend in with their surroundings. So I don't know if you guys watch National Geographic, but we watch that. I mean, that channel is a lot in our house. But when it comes to if you actually watch National Geographic, even with can anyone, no, let me don't give you the animal. Can anyone identify another animal that actually camouflage themselves? So we have a little bit of science and language together today.
Yeah, man, it's all about
Making connections.
Making connections with the subjects, yes.
Yes.
All right. Laurent says chameleon. All right. It says chameleon. Venetia says octopus. Kania says octopus. You guys are right.
You are correct.
All of you are correct. Yeah.
Seahorse, yes.
Yes, Kieran, I didn't even remember the seahorse.
Me either. Honestly, I think the first thing that came to my mind was the chameleon and the octopus.
I thought of the chameleon first. I didn't even think of the octopus. But when Kania and Phoenicia said octopus, I was like, right. Yeah, because they can go down in the pond and do their thing. Right.
Yes. So you guys are correct. They do, and this is the reason why we try to make the connections for you guys. These animals, the way of their protection is for them to blend in with their environment. So yes, all of those animals can actually, we could have actually used those animals in this paragraph to support our topic sentence. Okay, so you guys are correct. Now, can you identify our closing sentence or concluding sentence in this paragraph? Can you identify our concluding sentence in this paragraph? Anyone? Someone?
All right. Eversina says the last sentence. Or Eversina, like that sand shark and stonefish. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Yes. Yes.
Boy, listen to me. You guys are so knowledgeable. I mean, you guys really surprised me. That is so right. Good job, students. Okay, so you are correct. Humans have borrowed this idea to make camouflage clothing. Remember, let's go
Yep.
back. Let's go back. Because see, this is where we're making the connections, right, Mr. Joaquin?
Yep.
Let's go back. For years, people have found many ways to protect themselves. Remember, that was our topic sentence for our introduction, right? Okay, now here it is. We came to our second paragraph. We actually supported how animals change their colors to blend in with the environment. And then we conclude this paragraph by saying humans have borrowed this idea to make camouflage clothing. So in essence, humans have actually used different mechanisms and different strategies from animals in order for them to enhance what we do. Right, Mr. Joaquin? And I think that that's how science works.
Yep.
They use nature, they use certain things from animals based on their natural habitat, and they try to adapt it to humans. Okay, so you guys are correct. I'm so proud of you guys. You guys are doing so well today. Now, let's go on to our second supporting paragraph. All right. So let's read together. A more unusual way animals avoid attack is by giving off a chemical that smells bad or clouds the surroundings. The skunk defends itself by releasing a foul-smelling chemical from glands found beneath its tail. Because the chemical can severely sting eyes and the smell is enough to send predators hurrying away, any animal that tangles with a skunk surely won't do it twice. An octopus squirts a dark, inky fluid in front of its attackers. The ink clouds the water and lets the octopus escape. Did these protective methods give someone the idea for pepper spray? Are you guys able to identify the topic sentence in this paragraph?
All right. Christelle says a more usual way animals avoid attack. All right. That's kind of half.
Yes, that's half stepping. Anyone else? I see a lot of you saying the first sentence, right? But when you guys are texting your friend, you don't say that door. You actually explain. So I need you to give me the full topic sentence. Mr. Joaquin, what do you think about the answers?
All right.
Voice message.
Animals avoid attack by giving off a chemical that smells bad. John Bonet, okay. Jasmine. Animals avoid attack by giving off a chemical that smells bad or clouds the surroundings. Okay. I think though I agree. I agree that that is definitely a second way animals you know can
Protect
defend themselves
themselves.
and protect themselves. Yeah. I think
Yes,
that's it. But I've seen that is true. Yeah, the voice message is a useful animal, but it's also a dangerous beast at the same time because it's stopping people already not typing much, and when they were
that's it.
typing, they were using a lot of alphanumeric language. Are you coming to the party 4 o'clock? Right? And now the people are just sending the voice notes. So I'm concerned about how people will write in the future, man. Like, yeah,
Yes,
because you still need to write. You will need to write. It can't just all. So,
that's right. And that's the same thing I'm trying to get to them. It's good to write.
mhm.
Anytime you find you're able to, you should. You know why? Because in the working world, in school, any environment, at some point you have to put pen to paper. Or you have to use Microsoft Word to type something up for someone, and then boop, they realize you can't spell, you're using slang. That's why we always tell you guys, everything is being recorded in this chat, and this is why you should not use slang. Okay? We need you to be able to type or write or even speak in standard English. Okay? So yes, you guys are correct. A more unusual way animals avoid tax is by giving off a chemical that smells bad or clouds the surroundings.
Yes,
Okay?
yes.
Now, it's 9:55. We don't want you guys to be late for your other class, so this is what we're going to do. Mr. Joaquin, we're going to wrap up right now. Would
Okay.
you be able to send them the link for
Yeah.
Mr. Joaquin is going to send you guys the link so you can do your attendance for today.
Mm-hmm.
And after you're done with that, then you can leave so you can be to your classes on time for 10 o'clock. I don't want no one say English hold them up. Nothing. We're letting you go on time.
Okay, hold on. This is me because I had to open up my email. Come on, come on.
The internet is moving slow. That's the problem.
Yeah, it is pretty slow. It is.
Okay, students, so today we basically reviewed the purpose of an expository essay. We reviewed the parts of an essay, and now we're actually looking at and we're picking apart. We're looking at the topic sentence, we're looking at the concluding sentences, we're looking at the supporting details in each paragraph in an expository essay. Okay, so what we're going to do tomorrow, we're going to continue with this, and then we are going to focus on thesis statements. Okay, you found them, Mr. Joaquin?
Yeah, I just sent it.
Okay, so students, I need you to go fill out the link, fill out the information, click the link, fill out the information, and then you can go to your other class. So you can have a nice day. Enjoy. Bye-bye. Make sure fill out all the information on once you click the